took Nick into the her childhood bedroom.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, were all these like stuffed animals like from your dad or whatever for Valentine's Day? She goes, and some friends from like high school. And he was like, they were not your friends.
They were
50. She meets another guy. And I was like, what the is going on?
Actually, yeah. When Oliver came into the situation, bro. I said, oh, do we actually got competition now?
I know.
Is this love triangle?
I know. I was like, or whatever. The department is nonfiction, which that sounds like I would rather die. Like, that sounds awful.
Hey, buddy, you don't need to be projecting what's going on with your family onto what's going on here, and I really think that you should see it this way. And he's like, you know what? Thank you. I am done talking about it, but I take what you're saying. And I was like, that's how adults talk. Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Bailey.
And these are our Bookway friends.
We're reading The Neighbor Favor. For a long time, I thought it was Flavor. I was reading Flavor.
The Neighbor Flavor? Like it was a barbecue or something?
I thought he was a chef, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
That's what I thought it said for a while.
Totally different.
I kept saying it wrong.
That is so funny.
I was wrong. Anyway. Should I summarize it first, or do you want to talk about something else? My brain was processing slowly.
I watched it. I watched it processing. I mean, do you have something fun to talk about?
I guess not fun, but
no.
We are gonna take a little breaky break.
Oh yeah.
August is what we said.
Yes, that's what we said.
Caitlin's job holds her hostage for about 3 weeks straight, so we're gonna take August off because she won't have a day off.
Yeah.
And we'll be back hopefully in September. Hopefully with The Summer I Turned Pretty, depending on how they release them. So
yeah, we literally just spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out how the episodes were going to get released because this season is 11 episodes. Last season was just 8 episodes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just 8. They released the first 3, so it was only on like 6 week. It was a 6-week period. So with this being 11 episodes, we don't know what the timeline looks like, and it's stating that the release date is all the same date. So we wanted to do a like comparison between the book trilogy and then the series, and then also anyone who's followed The Summer I Turned Pretty knows that the author has kind of shaken things up for the ending of the show. So we wanted to give or she's like
I think
totally
she's lying, son of a bitch.
Derailed us. But so we wanted to do like a what do we think is going to happen type video, but with the way that the break is going to end up playing out and how the episode's going to get released.
We can just write them.
Yeah, we may have to like write down and then we'll discuss after, because it is still something I really want to do, because I love that the series and the show I really like. So I think we'll look forward to that early September for here on the potty.
The potty. Also, Joe has made me, not really, I offered to start editing reels for Joe / for me.
She already quit, so I don't know.
No, I didn't.
You said, in the text message you sent me, I quit, so.
Just for the day.
Oh, okay.
I quit for the day.
That's not what I quit usually means, but.
She was even texting me, and what was funny was that it was like I woke up to text from like 3 a.m.
Yes.
Where she was like, tears were almost shed.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, what you got there, man? You got there.
It's hard work.
Oh, yeah. It's not easy.
You know, it's very tedious.
No, I hate the shorts the most. Like, I've said this several times. Because Bailey is always hounding me, like, you gotta make me more shorts. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Pretty much.
I hate making shorts.
Which is why I said I'll do it, so that way I can be mad at myself and not you.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, I watched the whole video, and I cut it up, and, like, edit it. And then to do shorts, I have to watch it multiple times.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I cut it out of the video, and then you have to do a bunch of moving to fit the new ratio, and the text is the most annoying part.
Yeah.
If you guys just wanted me to do the video, that would be great. but they all want text. So that's the worst.
We also talk really fast.
We talk really fast and
over each other.
We talk over each other. We laugh really loud, so I'm sure that's not fun. So Joe's probably just like sick of us by the time he's done. He's like, I never want to hear their voices again.
It is a lot. Bailey can contest now. It's really hard to like parse out what you need to put into text, especially when you're both talking over each other, or like if you cuss a bunch back to back, that's really hard.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
As we do it a lot.
Listen,
the bleeps are not easy.
The latest reel that you posted, I was like, oh, Kate, you need to shut up. Like, it was like, bleep, bleep, bleep. Bleep, bleep. It was so bad. I even commented on it, like, from my personal page.
Oh my God.
And I was like, wow, she's got a pouty mouth. Can't be me. I'm like sweating watching because I'm like, whoa, that's bad. Oh. I'm trying
I don't
to
even remember what.
No, the reel that we just posted. We were talking about Flawless and how she slept in a cold hotel room. And I was like going on a rampage about how that could never be me.
Yes.
And oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were like, I'll sleep under the bed.
Yeah. There was a little too much potty mouthing.
Wow. That's hard.
So thanks, Joe, I guess.
I only do 99% of the work around here, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I can't even be mad at that statistic because I can't back it up any other way. So,
like, probably.
We really sat down and did the numbers.
But you're going to have to just not reteach me, but whatever program he used, I pressed a few buttons at like 1 or 2 a.m. and things just started like...
She closed all the windows somehow. So I used Premiere Pro, and somehow Bailey... I've done it too, so
Thank
I'm
God.
not an expert in like video editing. Everything I know is just YouTubed and figuring out myself. But somehow Bailey closed all the windows, and then I had to go back through and remember what windows I had opened and where to put them, and so I had to like reselect all of them. And then apparently she still deleted windows later.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Or she said they were different.
It was different.
So, I don't know what that means.
I explained it. And then it was just some other things with the coloring, and I was like, fuck it, it's 2:30, I'm done. Like, I'm done. So I quit. But I got 6 of them done that day.
Oh.
Hey-o.
You did something.
I think the only thing that I responded with was like, hey, at least there's 6.
Yeah, I told Joe the other day, or I guess today, I was like, we need to make some more. And he's like, you already used them all? It's like, yeah, bro. They go quick. That's why I'm hounding your ass all the time.
The worst.
So anyway.
People need better attention spans, so I don't have to make those.
I am one of the problems.
The shorts?
No, attention span.
Oh, yeah.
I have a very short attention span.
Yeah. Me too. It's pretty bad. And I always need constant stimulation.
Me too. I was
like the
thinking that
popping
this morning in the
words
shower
help.
Really? That shit pisses me off.
No, watching that I think helps.
Can you read it? I feel like they go so fast.
I can read them.
That's good. We talk so fast.
We do talk really fast.
That the words go so fast. I fear no one can actually read what's happening.
Oh, well, we can adjust if necessary.
No, we won't. We won't talk slower.
No. I just mean don't put the words in.
I don't think the words are bad. I feel like you could have them just there, but I don't know. Anyway, the popping is too much stimulation for me.
Oh,
with the $0 we make?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, if you want better reels, just kidding. Support us. I'm just kidding.
Okay, we can talk about the actual book now.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's the whole reason why we're here.
Oh yeah. Okay, how would I summarize this one? 1, I'm going to just do the tropes. How about them apples?
Yeah, do it.
Love letters?
My favorite micro trope.
Some book lovers?
Yep.
Relationship coach?
Yeah. Very minimally.
Very minimally, but that was the whole goal, kind of.
Yeah. I think she, started with that, and then it just derailed.
Well, she tried to do, fake dating, but he was like, nah.
Yeah. No, I mean the author. I think the author tried to use that trope, and it kind of just like lost its momentum there in like the mid, which is okay because like it ended up working out for our characters and everything. But I was like, they mention it like the neighbor favor, like the favor is like get me a wedding date or whatever, like coach me into getting a date. There was no coaching happening.
No.
I didn't change my shirt.
Yeah, I noticed that. I just did notice that.
Damn it.
I was like, oh, I guess she didn't bring another one.
Should I do it now?
What?
I think it would be more
It'd
obvious.
be weird.
That sucks.
I mean, it's like a hoodie type shirt, so you could just say that you were wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm leaving all that in.
It's fine.
Once again,
just
fire.
Yeah, for the listeners and watchers back home, we record multiple episodes in a single setting, and we change our outfits so that it at least gives like the illusion of meeting more than once a month. And I forgot to change my sweater, and I'm just now realizing 10 minutes into this episode, I even got up to change my sweater. I don't know.
Yeah, I wore a Taylor Swift one to
What happened?
commemorate
Yeah.
the momentous occasion that happened recently.
Yeah.
Joe thinks that was, he thought it'd be more money.
I think the discovery fee she bought it back for was way undersold. It was
What?
like 300 million.
300 million, yeah. 300 million. I mean, maybe whoever had it was just like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Yeah, they're like, I ain't even making any money off it no more.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody using it.
Take it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on how much like the first albums depleted the streams of the others. Like the
Well, a lot of people
replicas.
boycotted them.
Yeah,
I know that, but I'm
I
saying like
wasn't one of those people.
just for rep though, like you listened to Taylor's version of all the other ones, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
When they were out.
Oh.
But if they weren't out,
I've boycotted all of them but rep.
so, okay. So
But-
you haven't listened to Debut?
No.
What were you saying?
I just think it was under like
I agree.
I think it really hurt them. I think the Swifties came and they did the thing. They said, nope, won't do it.
Yeah, like if there was a Taylor's version, I would listen to that.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to listen to You Belong With Me, I fucking listened to a bitch.
That's so fair.
Or I guess that one's already out. But, anything
Yeah,
that's
it-
old. I don't really listen to Debut, to be frank, so if I wanted to listen to a rap song, I listen to a rap song.
Yeah.
Make a Taylor's version if you don't want me to listen to it.
Yeah. Well, now she don't give a flying.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw someone say, they're like, oh, thank God, we can listen to the OG 1989 now. We can stop pretending that the Taylor's version one was good. I was like,
What? Slut is still one of my favorites.
they like the...
Then
That's crazy. They like the...
I know. It is crazy. It is crazy. All of our favorites are the opposite of each other. We don't have a singular same favorite. Come on. Top fives of any album, you and I would not have a repeating top five.
I disagree.
Okay, top three.
I still disagree.
Okay, maybe from Speak Now.
Or
Because
Red.
Okay. Okay, maybe we have a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you're...
Okay, but definitely
correct.
Tortured Poets.
Different.
So different.
Yeah.
So different. That's what I love about Taylor.
What I love about him.
That's what I love about her, man. Anyways. Speaking of derailing.
Relationship coach and book lovers. That's all we got.
Yeah.
So it starts, she has a favorite book that she's not read since a child, but it is a children's book. And she was kind of younger when she got it, I guess. Maybe a few years ago.
2
years prior to this?
Yeah, she found it at a bookstore and picked it up.
She worked there and they were going to throw it away.
Yeah, awful. Just awful.
Anyway, so she read it. She really liked it. There was no second one. She's obsessed with it. So she emails the author. They start emailing. Then he ghosts her. And then 5 months later, turns out he's the neighbor.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know that they don't know that they're, the ones they're messaging. And, they figure it out. And she was like, hey, you were really good with our other neighbor helping him get a girlfriend. You should help me get a date for my sister's wedding because they hound her to get a date. And so it's them trying to find her a date for the wedding.
Yeah.
And as you would suspect, he ends up being the date.
Yeah. He does end up being the date. I don't think, I mean, that obviously that was going to happen. But no, I liked how this book was laid out because the beginning is like what you said, where it was like emailing back and forth. So it starts with like these email chains, and you read it physically.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it, but I listened to it, and it is dual POV. The book is dual POV, and the narrators are male and female, which is great because their email correspondences were just like conversations.
Yeah.
And then even like whenever he would text her in the middle of her chapter, it was his voice that like read the text or something.
That's how it's done.
But when they were in dialogue with each other, it was like the female main character and then like a little bit of a deeper voice or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it was like text dialogue, that was spoken with the character. Yeah. Okay. I liked it a lot. And they were both really good narrators too. Yeah, it was a really good narration.
Yeah, it was like a prologue of her finding out he has an email, whatever. And then it was just like chunks of the email. Mm-hmm. And then it started 5 months later, like chapter 2.
Yeah.
So I think the emails were like chapter 1.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it was like a good chunk.
No, yeah, they went back and forth for a while.
Yeah, I don't, like of the book, it was a good chunk.
Yeah. And it's like actually like good conversation too.
Yeah, I really liked that instead of getting like emails at the beginning of the chapter from the past, you know, like we just got them all out the gate. Yeah, part 1, the emails.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a chunk of emails, which was cute.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent chunk.
Yeah. Doesn't say like a page or anything, but yeah, all that was emails. And then we jumped to 5 months later, and she is living with her sister, working at a job she hates. Living at her sister's apartment. I think I forgot a word there. Working at a job she hates. And then there's a cute neighbor down the hall.
Yeah.
I think she calls him Hot Neighbor.
Fine as hell neighbor.
Hot Neighbor.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, and he finds out who she is before she finds out who he is.
Which I still think it took him a little too long.
The same day he tried to tell her.
I know he did.
Yeah, he tried to be like... But then
IKEA, right?
IKEA, yeah. And she was like, I hope he is pissed. And he's like,
oh.
He like chickens out. But he was going to tell her. Is the thought that counts? Question mark.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's the whole miscommunication situation of the book.
Yeah. But that's like the only bad miscommunication.
I agree.
Yeah, like the rest of the...
Even their like breakup wasn't bad. Like, I thought that was valid.
No, yes! I remember there was a conversation where he's like being short with her, and she's like, hey buddy, you don't need to be projecting what's going on with your family onto what's going on here, and I really think that you should see it this way. And he's like, you know what, thank you, I am done talking about it, but I take what you're saying. And I was like, that's how adults fucking talk.
Yeah, they
sorry.
Yeah, I was very impressed with their
They actually
not being idiots,
spoke like fucking normal people would. Like, it wasn't just I can't tell him.
And that's so normal, I feel like. Like, everyone's gonna be like, you should have told her. But if you're about to tell someone something like that and they say what she did, like, I hope he's miserable, fuck him, blah, 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 I'm so mad, he'd be like,
yeah.
Let me not do that.
Yeah. And they like that day was like the first day they had talked. Like, I actually had conversation. Yeah. And he was like,
one.
Oh, you are who I was emailing 5 months ago, who I ghosted. And he tried. He tried. She's an idiot for not seeing it sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, like, if you think somebody's name is something, like, and if you were, you know, slightly potentially in love with them, you're going to be reminded of that person in a lot of, like, subtle ways. But a lot of the ways that, like, Nick, who was our main character, reminded Lily, our female main character, of Strick, his pen name, I was like, come on, girly.
Literally.
You're supposed to be able to read between the lines for a fucking job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
my God.
Come on.
Yeah. She's an editor, right?
Yeah.
Sort of
Assistant.
But he sees her cat.
Yes.
That's fat and named the same name. He's seen
and it's a male calico.
And he'd seen a picture of it.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I was like, immediately,
that is what gave it away.
No, it isn't.
No, the tattoo. Yeah.
He sees his book in her home.
Yeah. And he's like,
Still hasn't gotten there yet. Okay. And then he sees the tattoo. And he like yeets out the door.
He's like,
he runs.
I gotta
sprints.
go. After a random
A
makeout
kiss.
session in
I
their
literally,
kitchen.
all caps. They're kissing.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
No, that instant, like, yeah. Yeah.
I was, because I think that was literally their first day of conversation.
Yeah, no, they was bold.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Bold.
And then they don't fucking touch again ever, pretty much.
No, I was about to say, I was like, is this the definition of a slow burn? Because there was no spice. The spice level of this one is half a pepper.
Yeah. The internet stirred me wrong because I looked up stuff and they were saying
Yeah?
a few more. So I put a few more on our little
Oh.
post. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's not very at all.
I mean, if Abby Jimenez is like no pepper, this is a half a pepper. But if you give her a half a pepper, this one's a full. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a little bit more than an Abby Jimenez.
Yeah. It was not much at all.
Yeah.
Like maybe Emily Henry.
No.
You think she's more?
Emily Henry?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very fade to blacky.
It's very fade to black. And it just, like, wasn't descriptive. It was just like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. Now we're cuddling.
I would say it was, in my opinion, it's slower burn than I'm used to.
Yeah, it was a slow burn.
So,
Even for me.
yeah.
And I like angst.
Yeah, no, I liked it though.
Yeah, I liked it.
I didn't hate it like I hated that one book I read a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. The book Who Shall Not Be Named.
I just can't remember it.
I remember the cover of it.
Cheat.
There it is.
I was like, I just can't remember again. It's not Voldemort or anything. Let's see. So for the wedding date thing, her sister just got engaged to some seemingly, I don't want to say random guy, but a very new guy. And the whole family's kind of like, what the fuck? But I guess her sisters always set her up on these dates because they want her to have a boyfriend, I guess. So all the time she's going on these random blind dates that her sisters are setting up for her. So for her sister's wedding, she made a bet with them, like, if I bring a date on my own to your wedding, you guys cannot set me up with anyone ever again. So that's kind of what the catalyst of her asking Nick. Because I think initially she was like, I bet I could, especially when they kissed.
Oh, no, she did want Nick to be the wedding date.
Yeah, she wanted Nick to be it, and he said no because he knew
who she was.
Also, she introduced herself as Lily. Also, he moved to that town because he knew she lived there.
No, she didn't live there yet. She wanted to live there. She was living with a shit roommate.
But I thought she still lived in the same area.
Oh, she
Not
may
the
have.
apartment complex, but he moved to that, like,
neighborhood.
area.
Yeah. There's, like, the neighborhoods of New York that people just, like, know. I don't know.
I don't
shit
know.
like that. Yeah.
But she said that was, like, where she... I think either that was her favorite or where she lived or was there a lot.
And they had, like, emailed back and forth about, like, a fake date scenario between the two of them. That was, like, the flirtiest that they got during their emails. Their emails were super mild.
Very.
Very mild. But the flirtiest that they got was, like, what is your ideal date? And they would, like, talk about it with each other. So that was in her ideal date was in that neighborhood, too.
So when he moved to New York, that's where he moved. So also I'm like, okay, you did that to try to find her. You found a woman named Lily.
But he learned her name that same day.
I know, but I still think it took too long for the gears to click.
Oh, yeah.
For him to be like, oh.
No, it took four hints.
Too much.
Too much, yeah.
Because I think she even was like, I work in publishing. I work here.
Yeah.
Like the name of it. I mean, it was so much. But whatever. He reluctantly agrees to try to find her a date. I don't really think he's very into it, but I don't think she's going to let him not.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do this. So the first, like, date was his friend's birthday party, which was cute. His agent. It's also his, like, best friend from college. So her favorite book, he wrote when he was very young, like in college. He sold it to some tiny publisher in England, and it got published, but not very much. And then that publishing company, like, went out of business stopped circulating, so there's only a few copies of it, whatever. His roommate from college is like his best friend, became an agent, and he's been trying to like resell the rights and get it republished. Lily obviously has an old copy of the book and was obsessed with it. Great. Well, it's got picked up again. It's going to get republished, and he's going to hopefully finish the series.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I moved to New York, and why he is in town for his little friend / agent's birthday party, and his book is getting published by the publishing company she works at.
Yeah.
So she sees the poster every day,
And she's
which
like,
made me laugh.
thinking of Strick.
Yeah, he has a pen name, so he didn't want his real name because of his family. It reminded me a lot of Mile High in that way,
Yeah.
where the family, which this didn't happen, but he was afraid his family was going to see his name on that book and be like, you have a bunch of money, give me money.
Give it to me.
So
Yeah.
he did a pen name so no one knew who he was because he didn't want his parents to find him. Therefore, she did not know who it was.
Yeah.
When she met Nick, she didn't realize that was that guy. But the birthday party, there was no one there, really. She was talking to one guy, but he had a girlfriend, and they were, like, trying to find a book for his niece or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because he was getting, like, jealous over there in the corner.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, and he's like, I gotta show you something.
Yeah.
Come with me.
Not a fucking bag of chips.
Fucking bag of chips in the kitchen. He's
But
like,
honestly-
this is a secret stash. Honestly, though,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
If you find me a secret bag of chips at a party, I'm gonna be eating them.
Yeah. And then she currently works at a editing company or whatever. The department is nonfiction, which that sounds like I would rather die. Like that sounds awful.
Yes, she
That sounds awful.
she would have retained so much random
She's just reading textbooks every day.
information. Yeah, one of the things that she was doing was like all the plagues that were discovered during the Renaissance, which I mean,
You
like
might like that.
that one sounds pretty cool.
I'm sure there are a few cool ones,
but like
but at the rate she has to read them and the volume she probably has to read.
yeah, and she's editing them, so this is like
Yeah.
not even the final cut. So like all that jargon garbled mess that you would take out before the final print, she's just having to go through all of that.
No, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that
But
does
it
sound
was the
terrible.
only job she could get in editing because she wants to edit children's books.
Yeah.
And she says that one book inspired her. It's called like The Elves of Ceradon or something.
I think it's exactly that.
Which sounds kind of like a dope book, honestly. There was
Honestly,
so much.
I want her to release that book.
She practically wrote it in this
Yeah.
book. Like we got a lot of it.
We got a lot of the plot.
Actually, she name dropped so many fantasy books.
Yes.
The whole time I was reading this, I was like, damn.
I gotta
I
write
wanna
that
read a
down.
fantasy.
I gotta write that down. Yeah,
There was one though that I don't think is real.
Mm.
Can't remember the name of it, but because it's not real. But I looked up a few of them.
So How to Lose the Time War
Real.
is like one of Demi's favorites.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
actually
really
have her
good.
copy at my house from like over a year ago. I should have read it. But yeah, that one
I've heard great things about that.
I think it's like two AIs that are coming sentient and like communicating with each other. I want to say that is what that book is, but I'm not quite sure. And then also the Poppy War she talks about, which is
You'd think, yeah, she talks about N.K. Jemisin.
the 5th season.
There was, like I said, there's one more that's. It's like one of her favorite books.
Oh,
and
the
he was
author.
the
Yeah,
author.
yeah, because he took her to see that author.
Yeah. So, yeah, one of her favorite series, he was like, oh, she has another series. It's this one. And I looked it up and I couldn't find it. So I don't think that one's real.
Okay.
But I think literally almost every, at least I couldn't find it. It might be real. I just was spelling it wrong or I don't know. That was the only one I couldn't find.
Yeah, I enjoyed the drops.
books.
Yeah, all the book drops.
Yeah.
Because they are, like, known. And I think in, like, 20 years when somebody reads this book, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, the Poppy War. I remember, you know.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I wonder, it made me think, like, this girl probably reads a lot of fantasy.
Yeah,
Like
she
the
probably
author.
does. Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. But at this birthday party, she meets a woman who works in a children's publishing company. Is she the head editor? I don't even know.
I think she's high up there.
She's high up there. And so she meets her at this birthday party, gives her email, and she's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I might have an in. Which was another reason he kind of took her, was like, there's a bunch of people in publishing, you might meet somebody to network. And she did. Their next date, because that one didn't pan out because everyone was either gay or had a date.
Yeah.
So didn't work out, other than Nick. He was the only single straight guy there. So they're like, okay, let's try something else. So they went to a bookstore.
Yeah. Oh,
I loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that scene, all of it, even though...
Even
yeah.
the dickhead.
First of all, that was crazy town. So he goes, he's like, okay, I have an idea. We're going to go, like, in the section, and you be here and looking for things, and maybe it'll, like, strike up a conversation with someone. I'll be right over on the corner.
Yeah.
Just in case. And the guy does, and she's looking at the author that I can't find. So she's looking at, like, her favorite book. And some fucking dude walks up. What?
I'm remembering this now.
Oh, yeah. Some guy walks up and says something about the book. I don't even know what he says. But he's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
And he was like, this book is shelved wrong. It should be shelved YA.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. It's adult. Like, there's themes and blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, the main character was super annoying. Like, that's YA.
Yeah, whiny. He said the word, like, whiny.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so we're misogynistic because the
awful.
female character's... I mean, it's a female main character, so she's whiny. But when a boy does it...
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, he kept on. Like, it wasn't just that conversation. They were digging in, like,
Yeah.
raised voices, almost yelling at each other.
Yeah, in normal conversation, I think, like, no, it's shelved correctly. You know, there's normal themes. I thankfully haven't come across
No one's come up to me at a bookstore.
Yeah, just stay the fuck away from me. If I'm at a bookstore, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, that
is not where I go to find dates.
I thought the idea was cute,
but not realistic.
But in reality, if someone came up to me and talked to me in public, I would not contribute. I would be like, I hate going in public, and I don't want fucking strangers talking to me.
The only time that actually did happen to me in a bookstore, I was in the manga section. I said, oh, I'll never come here again alone.
Oh, yeah, you were... was it a man?
Yes.
Of course it was. You're a female in the manga section.
Like, listen, but it was like one of those like humbling moments where you're like, you? Like, sorry. But it was like one of those like, I'm never coming to like look at manga again.
I never thought of that because I go there sometimes because Joe reads this series and we've had trouble finding like the next one.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever there without him, I'll just kind of peek in there and see if I can find the next one for him, and then I'll leave. But I won't be doing that anymore.
No, if you like,
or I won't be there long.
When that section's busy.
No, I go when it's empty.
And you're like, no.
But I feel like not. If they're in the vicinity, they'd probably get a radar. Like, a female has entered the zone. We have to go.
Yeah. Sniffed her out.
There's a female in the aisle. Let's go.
Yeah.
That is so funny that's happened to you. What did he say?
Well, he was just talking about, like, anime in general. He was like, oh, do you watch that anime? And I was like, yeah, I'm a casual anime watcher. Like, I don't go full into the mangas. I haven't read anything, you know, like, because a lot of times, I mean, I wear shirts too, like, that have like my favorite anime characters on them, like, out in public. And I have been approached by like classmates before where they're like, oh, you watch Hunter x Hunter? And I'm like, yeah, he's my favorite villain, blah, you know. And I'm like, I always preface, I'm casual. I'm a casual anime watcher. I like it because it's pretty. I don't get deep dark into it. You can tell me a character's name, I'm probably not going to remember who you're talking about. You know, like, just same with the way that I read my books. I do it for fun. You know what I mean? So I always lead, like, oh, yeah, I've watched it, but I'm casual. You know, like, I've only just watched it the one time. I just think that the art's really pretty. And he was like, you're really pretty. And I was like...
Damn. Straight out. I feel bad for him. He tried.
Same. Oh, my heart hurts.
And I was like, oh, I'm flattered, but I do have a boyfriend. And he was like, well, where's he at? Like, getting a little bit of gusto to him. And I was like, at home, where I will be going after this.
You said that?
Have a good night. And I left. Yeah. I mean...
This is why I don't want people talking to me. I hate it.
Well, because, like, sometimes when people, like, really put themselves out there, you want to be like, hey, like, good job.
Do it again.
Like,
I'm sorry,
do it
that
again.
was a miss, but do it again.
But, like, you know, don't get discouraged, you
Yeah.
know? So I do feel, like, a little bad. But also I was like, come on, dude. Like, go for someone you think my actual go for you. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I
good
feel
on him.
bad.
Good on him. But yeah, no, so it does happen. I've never gotten in an argument, though. Like,
Yeah,
this girl
that
did.
was crazy.
Yeah.
This guy I can't even remember what all he, like, I think he was mentioning other books, and I don't even remember all of it. But
Yeah.
Nick heard the situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then he came out, he goes, do you work in publishing?
And the guy's like, no.
No. And he goes, well, she does, so I think she knows how to shelve the books.
Yeah. She
Where
said
they need to be shelved.
he was like, leave it to the expert.
Yeah.
Or something. She's like, I'm not an expert. And he goes,
He were.
Today
In this
you are.
scenario.
today you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just, like,
Huffy puffy.
walks away because another man walked up. But they were talking about a book before that situation. He was like, oh my gosh, you can't leave the bookstore without it. I think it was How to Lose the Time War.
I think so.
And so then he went and found it. He's like, let me go find it for you. But then he went and found it and bought it and, like, brought it back. I was like, that's so cute.
That is so cute. Yeah.
I'm sucker for the books. But yeah, he bought her that. And then I think she bought that one from that author she liked that she was holding when she got in the argument.
Yeah. And then she was like, this is a flap. Let's go.
Different date idea next time.
Yeah. Good idea, though.
And then this one, well, this wasn't really a date, but like her sister that she lives with kind of bullied Nick into going to the family barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was so cute.
Yeah, I really liked that whole scene. And, like, we get a lot of that from his point of view, too. And so we learn a lot about, like, how he grew up and how it was, like, really, just, like, a really, really shitty situation.
Yeah.
And so he's, like, around literally this big family. He's an only child, only knows, like, his dad and his mom, who were not present in his life for the majority of his childhood. So he's, like, around all these people that are, like, tight and, like, super close. And he's like,
Like
whoa.
traditions.
He's like, what is this feeling? You know, like, man. And I thought that was really, really cute. And I think that that's, like, one of those families that even if it didn't work out, they'd still be like,
You can
chill.
come over.
You can come over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
They're
fictional,
sweet.
but...
And then he like made cupcakes
yeah.
to take.
He's so cute.
He was cutie.
He's wholesome.
He was very. And I think, yeah, the mom then bullied him to stay the night.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He was sleeping on a chair because there was nowhere else to sleep. And so she was like, you can just come up to my room like later on in the night because she came down to get water and they were both awake or something. And she's like, you can come hang out with me until, you know. And then they start making out. And he talks a little bit more about it. Oh, yeah, that's kind of when probably before the making out, is when they talk about his family a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Which at his best friend's birthday party, he was like, he takes a long time to open up, give him a minute, you know. The best friend was telling her that.
Yeah.
And so at this barbecue, he was like really opening up to her, so she kind of just sat there and quiet and let him do it. And then afterward, they start making out, whatever. And I think she maybe even asks, like, you know, like, what are we doing? You know, I like you.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we can't do this. I'm not good enough for you.
Yeah, and I think she says, like, I don't think you get to decide what I think is good enough for me, but I understand that's how you feel.
She's like, I disagree, but if you need to...
Yeah.
So in her own POV, like in her head, she was like, that is not my...
perception of you.
Well, not even that. Just like, that's his issue. To like, if he feels that way, he needs to figure that out himself, and I gotta go about my stuff.
Yeah.
Like, nothing I can say is gonna make him feel just like that he deserves to be with me, kind of thing. That he's good enough to be with me. So I thought that was very emotionally regulated of her.
Yeah, no, this book
Couldn't
was
be me.
really good. Jesus. This book was really good about having, like, realistic expectations of how, like, the start of adult romances are. You know, like, no, I know my worth, baby. I think you're chill, but if you don't know your worth, this is where we are.
That's on you.
That's on you. Yeah. instead of her being like, no, wait, please come back. She's like, I did. Have fun.
And then
go on with your bad self.
I literally, on page 250, she meets another guy. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Actually, yeah, when Oliver came into the
whiplash,
situation,
bro.
I said, oh, fuck. Do we actually got competition now?
I know.
Is this love triangle?
I know. I was like, wait, what? Another love interest at this late in the book?
This late in the book?
Which maybe 100 pages after that.
Yeah, and he was digging her.
Yeah, and she thought he was strict. Maybe.
Yeah. She
I
was
don't know
like,
if she thought for sure.
he looks just like I imagined.
And he was British.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks the pen name, they think he's British because it was a British publishing company.
Yeah.
But he just sold it to them and he's not British. So that's another part of why he's been like hesitant to come out, like, and say his real name, because he's like, they've been thinking I'm British and I haven't corrected them. Like, I've just been letting them think that. And I don't want them to be like mad.
Yeah, and he's from like North Carolina or something like that.
Yeah, he's not bougie.
No.
Not British.
No.
Just not that. But we meet Oliver, and they hit it off. They like go out that for his first day to the bar. Was that the night Nick came? The first night or no?
Yeah. Okay.
It was the
Yeah.
first night.
So there's another girlie. I forget her name, but she's who introduced Oliver.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I want to say it started with a B. I really can't remember. But she's like introducing Oliver to like his coworkers. It's like his first day. Introduces Lily, and they're like, "Oh, we should all go out." And the friend who also works there is like, "Oh, let's make it a group thing. Like, there's a bunch of other girlies like in my office that have been wanting to go out. Like, let's do like a welcome thing." And Lily instantly was like, "Oh, I should invite Nick." And then she's like, "But wait, Oliver."
Yeah.
But she still invites Nick. So Nick does come.
Because was that also when she gets an email to meet up with the children's publisher, or no? Was that around the same, or was that later?
No. That's the same characters are involved in that, but that's
Okay.
like a lunch a few days later.
Okay.
Yeah. But they go to the bar. And I think she is feeling up on Oliver, isn't she?
I know Nick is kind of like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I remember at the end of that chapter, he's like, oh, hell, I gotta like figure my shit out kind of thing. Because then Oliver leaves, and I think she stays there with Nick.
Oh, yeah. She's like wanting to celebrate. Wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think she was celebrating the interview.
I
don't think she had done it.
Oh, I think what
She
I'm
just got an
thinking
email back.
is that they waited for her at the end of the day. Like, they were down at the lobby. Like, they were going to go walk to the bar together. So I assumed it was like a lunch thing. Because there's a lot of lunches that happen in this, too.
Well, most corporate people go to lunch every day.
Yeah. I don't.
I don't
I also
either.
can't leave the office at the same time that other people are leaving the office. Because we're a very small...
That's unfortunate.
Small collective.
You
Yeah,
can't
like...
even eat together?
Yeah. Like, Bryn and I cannot leave at the same time. Unless it's
Yeah.
like a staff thing. Like, we've gone out to lunch one together as like full-time staff. Like, all of the people that are there all the time. We went to one time. We did that. And
Or once a year lunch.
yeah. But we can't do that typically. So I get so jealous when I read about it. But yeah, you're so right. She was celebrating and she didn't want to leave the bar after. And Nick was like, "Oh, I'll stay with you." And Oliver's like, "Oh, okay. I'll see you tomorrow, Lily." And she's like, "Yeah, bye."
Yeah, they were strange. And then she stays with Nick. I have here, like, she tells him she likes him again on a night out.
Yeah,
So is it that night?
I think so.
But before that happens, her cat gets sick.
Yes.
And she calls Nick.
Yes.
And they take, which I was like, oh my God, girl. Then they take the cat to the vet. The cat's fucking fine. But cat's fine.
Yeah.
Ate an earring or something.
Yeah.
And then, but he hates cats. Remember? And he like picked the cat up and took him to the vet. It was cutie. He's such a cutie. And then on the night out, she says, I do like you, you know. And then he tells her the truth.
Yes, he takes her out of the bar and he's like, "Yeah, we got to talk."
In the alley.
In the
Maybe not in the
alley.
alley. I just pictured it in an alley. I don't know if it really was an alley.
When I'm thinking New
But
York,
that's what I
and I'm
picture.
thinking outside of a bar in a private conversationalist area.
Right? It's got to be an alley.
It's in a little alley.
I don't know why.
It just is.
But he tells her who he is.
Yeah, and she's pissed.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I think she's not mad that he is who he is, but that he knew who she was
She's like, you've known that whole time.
the whole time. Since the first day we've talked, you've known who I am. You knew how I felt, and you kept this from me. But again, very emotionally regulated conversation. He's apologizing. He's like, no, you have every right to be mad at me. I'm so sorry. And she's like, yeah, no, it's cool, but like, I'm not cool. You know, it was, yeah.
She gets over it eventually.
Obvi.
I
I
don't
actually
remember.
can't remember like how the
Me
relationship
neither.
starts. They just like were.
I feel like they were the whole time. They were just being annoying. But
Yeah.
I literally wrote, she gets over it, and they're together, and they sleep together.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I love that for them.
love that for them.
And then he takes her on the best date ever.
Yes. Yeah. To go to the book signing, he like,
Her favorite author.
yeah, kidnaps her essentially. Doesn't tell her where they're going. He's like, hey, just grab your favorite copy of whoever this author is. Like, grab your favorite book. And then he drives her to this the author's local bookstore.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to meet with my readers, but I don't want to travel. I'm too old for that. So I do this every, what was it, like bi-monthly or something?
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty often.
frequently.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is crazy. And
She does a
gets,
reading, and then...
yeah. So she gets to meet her favorite author, gets to get her signature.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Very cutie.
It reminded me of, which one was it?
Fine print.
Fine print. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to say.
I like this one better just because...
It's more realistic.
That, yes.
Yeah.
Because obviously I have my chip on my shoulder about the billionaires.
Yeah.
Because that one, he paid that woman to have a signing. Mm-hmm. Like, he orchestrated the whole event. This one, he did research, found her, drove her there, you know. It wasn't something he paid for. It just happens, and he found that out.
Yeah.
It's similar in theory, but no money was exchanged.
No money was exchanged. Yeah.
So it's better. And then while he does this, he was like, wow, I loved that. Like, even seeing her be so happy about the author, he was like, maybe I should come out with, you know, what my name is instead of the pen name so that I can meet my fans and do readings like that. Like, he just really enjoyed the event. So he's starting to have that, like, idea percolating in the back of his brain.
Yeah.
From that. But then, of course, I've been waiting for this moment
Yeah.
because he kept getting unknown calls. And I'm like, you're
Yeah.
an idiot if you don't know what that is.
From the
Because I know what it
first
is.
unknown call, I was like, oh, that's his daddy. It wasn't his daddy.
No,
it was his
mom.
mama.
But still.
But I definitely thought it was his daddy.
Yeah. Mom calls. Dad's been in a car accident. And so he goes out there. For why, I don't know. Oh, the dad was asking for him. But still, honestly, all right. Like, I don't know if I would go. Good for him. He went. If I was in his shoes, I don't know if I'd go.
I don't know.
But he went. And he found out his mom and dad were separating. Mm-hmm. And that he, like, helped his mom pay for an apartment to be on her own and groceries and stuff like that. And he saw his dad, but I really can't even remember their conversation, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, so he saw his dad, and a lot of times when he was, like, in the hospital, he was there for, like, over a week, and he was like, I'm going to pay for the physical physical therapy, and I'm going to pay this medical bill. Well, when his dad, like, finally comes to, like, several days after he's been there, he's, like, looking at his dad, and his dad's like, why are you looking at me like that? And he's like, I'm not looking at you any sort of way. And he's like, yeah, you think you're better than me? And then he was like, no, I just feel bad. Like, you need help. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, big growth there. You know, like, one, being able to sit with your dad after the shit that he put him through.
Yeah.
But also, like, to just very blatantly be like, nah, man, like, you just need help. And then just, I got your bills. See ya. Dip out. I was like, whoa, growth.
Yeah. Because his dad was a gambler, or did I make that up?
No, you're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was also listening to a book recently that had, like, parent issues like that with a crappy childhood. So I was like, am I getting their details mixed up?
No, yeah, he just squandered all of his money away.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And would use his child to help him steal and rob people.
No, literally, that, like, flashback scene was crazy.
Yeah. It was sad.
It was really sad.
He was so excited.
He was. Yeah.
But he goes there and visits, and when Lily calls him while he's there, he kind of starts to revert back, like, okay, I don't want my name out there because he's now, whatever. And she's like, but he decides he's going to tell his mom, which that was so cute.
Yeah.
He told his mom.
It was.
She's like, when can I read it? Or
Yeah.
like, when can I buy it? I was like,
yeah. And then like literally 5 minutes later, she's like, you like to read? He's an author. Tell her about your book.
yeah, at the register. It was so cute. I don't think he ever told the dad, but.
No, I don't think he ever told him, but I think that he was no longer scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing, Violet's fiance, so her sister that's going to get married to this random guy she's been talking to for not very long, or been with for what seems like not very long in the family's perspective, gets caught cheating. Saw that coming too.
Yeah, for sure. Full on affair.
Also, I spoiled myself because this book is Lily. There's 3 books.
Oh, is there?
Yes.
Oh, so there's it's an interconnected series? Oh, I didn't know that.
The Green Sisters.
Oh, is it really? Oh.
Sisters.
Yeah.
So at first, I looked that up before I even started this one.
Oh, so
I was like, well, I know this is going to end.
Oh.
Somehow I know this engagement is not going to.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it didn't come as a shock to me.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it would be like a 5-month-long affair that caused the wedding to break up.
Right.
But I did know that it
Wasn't going to last.
I wasn't going to go through.
Well, all I know is the next one is, I believe it's that sister,
Okay.
Violet. And it's, from what I read in the back of that one, it was like a marriage of convenience
Oh.
at first. So initially I thought, oh, maybe this weird marriage is the marriage of convenience.
Oh.
And we'll get the backstory of why they got together so fast.
Oh, so it's like a
what-
secret to the fam.
Yeah. I thought maybe
Oh.
that was
Yeah.
what was going to happen, is we were going to understand more of why these two, like, that don't seem to need to be together, people are together.
Yeah.
But no, they just not together at all, so.
You know, for all the shit that they were talking about Lily having a date, Iris, the oldest sister, we never hear a man. We never hear of a man. I mean, she had a husband who passed away.
Yeah.
But that was like, I mean, not saying that we have a timeline on grief, people, so don't come at me. But it was over 2 years before this book took place that she lost her husband. I'm like,
How was it? Was it a car accident?
I want to
Did
say
make
a
that up?
car wreck, yeah.
'Cause it was obviously sudden, and I don't think he was sick.
No, I think it was like an accident. But they weren't on her. You know, get back out there, girlie. No, they didn't do any
Yeah.
of that. They were just
Well,
on Lily.
yeah.
They was just on Lily.
Because she ain't been with nobody.
She ain't been with nobody. Yeah.
Literally ever. Right? Because they said at the barbecue that she'd never brought anyone home. And Nick was the only person
she had like
brought.
this weird delusion that like nobody was interested in her, and like all of her cousins are like, she friend zoned every single one of our friends that
Yeah, it
we
was
tried to
funny
get with
when
her.
she took Nick into the her childhood bedroom.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we're all these like stuffed animals like from your dad or whatever for
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. She goes, and some friends from like high school. And he was like, they were not your friends.
They were not your friends. They were your admirers. And she's like, no, they always liked my sisters more. And he was like, oh, you stupid.
Yeah. And what your cousin said make a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
It was funny. She's like, no, they were just my friends. Like, they didn't want. Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see that at 16 and be like, no, they're just being nice.
They're just being nice to me. They really like my sister.
Yeah, my sisters. But when he was with his mom, going back to Nick on the mom, and the whole, maybe I don't want to be out and about before he told his mom. Him and Lily on like kind of a fight about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because she was like, didn't want him to let them affect him so much. And then she doesn't end up going down there, does she? She was going to, right?
She offered to, and he was like, no.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, in that conversation, he was like, you didn't grow up how I grew up.
Yeah, he was getting a little defensive.
Yeah, he was. He was like, you grew up surrounded by love. Like, I've seen it. He was like, I did not have that. I've had to take care of myself. I've had to protect myself, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you're right. I will never know what you went through. And I'm so sorry. Again.
So level-headed.
So level-headed.
It
And
was
I'm
great.
like, yes.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
great. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then he realizes the error of his ways, as men do. Just kidding. And he flies home and goes to this.
Always right.
Okay. He goes home to this like publishing event that's happening that he was originally going to announce who he was at.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was like, no, I'm not going to go because I have to go see my dad. But then he was like, no, I'm going to go. So he goes, but he doesn't go for the party. He goes because he knows Lily's there.
Yeah, because Lily's phone died or something and literally hasn't been able to get in touch.
That day was just catastrophic.
That day was catastrophic for Lily. She had an awful day.
It was just silly.
And before she...
It was for the plot, period.
For the plot. Before he walks up into this party, too, she quits her job.
Yeah, because her boss is a terrible person.
Yeah, just terrible person.
It's a terrible job.
Yeah.
Like I said. And then her boss is even more terrible. Because I think at this party, her boss was like, here's the other editor that they hired to help us out. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, is there going to be an assistant editor coming with? And she goes, no, you're going to do her stuff, too.
Yeah, and then...
And we're going to have to do more than normal. And you're going to do my shit. And she's like, oh, hell no, I quit.
She called to the new...
because she's like, are you
her
going to give
new
me a
boss.
raise?
Yeah, that was a previous conversation, but to the new boss, she was like, yeah, don't worry, she's a career assistant. She'll do whatever you ask her to do. And she was like, I literally just asked you for a promotion, bitch. And you did not give it to me.
Moving up. Yeah.
Yeah, she said crazy shit to this new person on their team. In front of her. So she was like, actually, I quit. And she was like, what? It's like, bye-bye.
That's right. I forgot she called her that, a career assistant.
Yeah. That's crazy.
As if she has no aspirations to do anything else.
Yeah, or the time on her hands to accomplish anything.
Her boss was terrible. I don't know how they did not fire her.
Yeah. What was she doing?
Well, she had her own... I don't know how publishing works.
No, like, Lily was doing all of her work.
Yeah.
What was she doing?
Friggin' stressing out. Crackhead energy up in that office. I don't know what she was doing.
Yeah.
Finding boring-ass books to publish.
Yeah, I guess so.
My God. Because she's, I'm assuming, older. And she didn't want to do any newer ideas. Like, the head publishing company, because I'm assuming big publishing companies, they have, like, little imprint umbrellas, whatever. The head people were like, we need to do this topic or this topic or this topic. And she was like, no. We're doing freaking mating habits of chimpanzees, or, you know.
Yeah.
No, what it was some lady followed
Jane Goodall.
her first assistant.
Jane Goodall's first assistant.
She's like, no, people want to read that.
So, like, actually, this publishing company, I feel like anthropologists would like the books that this lady puts out.
So some people would.
Some people would. Like, that's up their alley.
Great,
like,
publish that book, but you gotta publish other things.
Yes. And a lot of times it's like a university publishing house that, like, actually publishes
that kind of
stuff like this. Yeah.
I'm gonna be frank, I don't know who Jane Goodall is. I've heard the name, but she live with the chimps?
Do you know who Jane Goodall is?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
She live with the chimps?
Yeah, she, like, is an anthropologist who, like, made so much headway with, like, understanding how apes are so close to, like, humans.
Okay.
And she did a lot of studies. She's, like, known as, like, the chimp lady. Yeah.
That's not a good...
I mean, no, like, Jane Goodall, and she also was, like, a great person.
Yeah.
She was the not first female, but a very, very headlining female scientist of her era, too. But, yeah. I don't know a lot about her, but...
I feel like I watched a show where someone was, like, obsessed with her and was like, I'm gonna live with the chimps.
I mean, Jane Goodall's a very popular name.
Bells?
No, not
Of
for
a
me.
show or a movie? Damn, okay. That's the only time I've ever...
I should
in
do
my
a
brain
little
can
bit
heard of it.
more deep dive into her, actually. I should
Well, there
know
you
a little
go.
more.
All I know is she was the chimp lady.
God.
I know. Well, I know that she was very pivotal in a lot of research related to chimps, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's not something I'm like really into. So
Anyway, that's the shit they were publishing.
Yeah.
And she didn't want that. She didn't want to read that shit. Because that's a niche little topic.
Yeah.
So she quit, which she had an interview or not yet? Not at all?
I don't think so yet.
Okay.
Or maybe it, like, did go well and she
She
had
an
like a
interview with someone
second
else.
round.
That's right.
Yeah.
The first round went well. She had to do a second one, but she hadn't done the second one yet. She quit in between there. It worked out for her, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But he comes back. He sees her in the crowd, he's there to see her, and like, but then his agent sees him and was like, "You're here." Pulls him up. He's wearing like a freaking tracksuit. He just popped off the elevator.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, this is not what I was planning to wear to announce me, but okay."
Announce myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he did it anyway, but pretty much he just like confessed his love on the stage to her instead. He also said, "Hi, I'm this person. Sorry, I'm not British." But
yeah. He's like, "Here's my book.
Hope
That
you like
girl
it.
over there, I'd really rather spend time with her, so
I'm gonna go.
bye. Thank you."
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was cute. Oh, I did put she quits her job. There we go. She gets a new job. And he is the date, but not to the wedding. Instead, her sister threw an anti-wedding party.
And everyone wore black
Yeah. And he was her date.
to the anti-wedding party. That's some iconic shit. She's like, "I already got it all booked."
Yeah. She's like, everything's planned. Like, we're just gonna party.
Yeah.
And one of her best friends is like, I don't know if it's a best friend, but one of her friends is like a really famous entertainer
Yeah.
in this world. So she performs
Yeah. Like
just, it was a concert pretty much. Caramel Kitty.
Caramel Kitty.
What's her name?
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And she wore bodysuits.
Yeah.
Like, that was like her thing. Yeah.
It was funny. But in the epilogue, I don't know why, but I loved in this epilogue, there was no proposal. There was no proposal in this book. And I actually liked that.
Oh, there wasn't a proposal. They just they like actually real lifed one of their dates, and like
They did a date that they had talked about in the email.
yeah, that they had talked about in the email, and he even like mentioned like she mentioned the cheesy keychains that he would buy, a Black Santa and an I Heart and Y like keychain, and he like goes off to get hot chocolate and then also like buy the keychains.
I thought that was going to be the ring.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't anticipate a proposal. Now that you're like saying that, that's so funny.
Single one of our books have ended that way.
You're so right.
Almost everyone, actually. I don't know. I feel like all of them, though. I feel like the epilogue is almost always a proposal. Well, did Variation have a proposal? That's the only one I can't remember right now.
It was years later.
Was it?
Yeah, I think they had their own, I want to say they had their own kids.
Okay, maybe they don't all end in proposals. Now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, did any of these people get engaged?
Yeah, Not in Love ended in a proposal.
True. And Love Light.
And Love Light.
I think most of them end in like either showing some aspect of them having kids,
Well, those are like, yeah.
or not all of them have been proposals from what I remember you guys talking about.
I don't know why this one stood out to me.
I mean, maybe I think this one had an actual realistic, like maybe the setup for how they met each other was a little unrealistic, but the way that the relationship actually flowed and like
almost
progressed.
no author's gonna respond to you. I'm so sorry.
I think
I tried.
like
No, I'm just
the
kidding.
flow of the romance was more realistic. But yeah, no, I liked it. I think it was really cute.
Literally later, I'm going to go and read every one of these epilogues and see what ends in a proposal or not.
Yeah, actually.
I wonder if it's just because I was expecting it because of the little gift in the box they were talking about. Mm-hmm. I was so expecting one, and then it didn't happen. I was like, oh, that's refreshing.
Yeah, it was just like a good full circle moment for them.
It was just cute.
Yeah.
I bet we'll see it
Oh, yeah.
in the next ones, just because, like I said, they're the sisters. So there's 2 more. But you want to know? Do you want to know who? I know who the older sister gets with.
Is it Angel?
Yes.
Well, they kind of hinted at that at the party because he's like, I gotta, like he's all like tongue twisted around her or whatever. I was like, oh, if there's, I didn't know there was other ones, but I was like, if there's more, Iris and Angel will be one.
Be reading them.
Really?
What'd you rate this?
Like a 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I really liked it. I gave it like a 4, maybe 4.5. Like I can't say anything I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
I posted my review on Fable and someone commented like, I agree. Like I didn't want to give it 5 stars, but I genuinely could not think of any reason it shouldn't have 5 stars.
No, I mean it was really good in that like all of the details were super in depth. Like all the characters had backstories that you knew enough of the character about in like such a short. I mean the book isn't very long at all.
No.
And you you know things about her family, you know things about his family, you know things about the neighbors, you know, like it's actually like fully developed.
And we damn near get his whole first novel.
Yeah, essentially.
I know everything that happens in the Elves of Ceradon.
No, she packed
I know everything that happens.
so much in such a short book. Yeah. It's not short. It's an average sized book.
It's normal.
But there's a lot. There's not any filler. Everything matters.
Maybe not everything I learned about the Elves of Ceradon, but
that's some of the like middle plot we don't know. We know how it started. We know some issues that happened, and we know how it ended.
We know that's how he felt because his dad is evil in the fantasy book.
Yeah,
and he like emulated it off his own life. So that is another reason he never wrote the second book. Is because he's like, I am the main character stuck in this spot, and I don't know where I'm going from here.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to take the book from here, but.
Yeah, and he like brainstorms it a little bit.
I was about to say, I don't even know if in the epilogue it mentioned anything about it.
I can't remember, but I do remember him having like a moment where he's like at his computer and he like deletes everything that he wrote prior, and he was like, okay, I have a clear idea now. Like this is what I want from him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
But I agree. I need her to write those books, actually.
Yeah, I think they'd be good, and even if they are like middle grades, like I'd still read them.
Yeah. Maybe not middle grade, but
I love middle grade.
I haven't read a middle grade.
I love middle grade books.
The only middle grade I can think of right now is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I read that in middle school.
In actual middle school?
Yes, that's when I read those.
I think I just love middle grades because I went through that season a couple summers ago where I just went through so many of them. Because I did all of Rick Riordan's except for his latest series.
He has a lot.
Yeah, he does have a lot, and they're all gas.
Okay.
They're so
I've never read any of them. I need to.
Fucking good. Actually, yeah, if you only read Percy Jackson's 5, I think there's 5 in Percy's, it's worth your time. Enough. Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, I've read a few YA, but no YA I can think of, honestly.
Yeah, I like can't wait until
Where the fuck are they in the bookstore? Like in the children area?
Harry Potter?
No, like white or middle grade.
Yeah, they're in the children's area.
They're in that little children's area?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never go there.
There's like a chapter book section in like there's like the cutout, at least in my Barnes and Norman, which is I'm most familiar with now. There's like the kids cutout section, and then there's like a chapter book section for like middle grade. But sometimes you can find some of them in the YA, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Harry Potter's got its own section. A whole wall.
Oh, in that little area?
Yeah. Like, it's, like, right outside of it. Kind of, like, by the entrance.
I never even look over there at the used bookstore here in town. Gardeners.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's, like, that room.
Yeah.
I almost never go in there.
Yeah, the middle grade books in there are class. Class. So good. Yeah.
I literally ignore that room, so that's on me.
No, that's, like, one of the most, like, highly anticipated things for Caitlin being a mother is like reading those stories again, like with my kids.
No, I can see how that would be fun. But.
Yeah. Yeah. LOL. Okay. So what did I say? 3?
3?
Yeah, I think I'm a solid 3. Maybe a 3.5. But like, I don't necessarily care to read the rest of them.
Even though there was love letters?
There was love. All of the little micro tropes that I like were in there. I just, maybe it wasn't enough angst. I don't know. Maybe I like the fucked up romances. You know?
You like the emotionally
I like Second Chance a lot. Second Chance seems to be my favorite.
This is slightly that.
I guess.
They're just not children.
Yeah, I guess. You're right.
Throwing a complete 180 of how I was last time.
What do you mean?
Like One Golden Summer.
Oh, yeah.
How I was trying to get your rating down. Now I'm trying to get your rating up.
Oh, yeah. No, I think I'm like a solid. I think you got it up to a 3.5.
All right.
Because I can't think of anything that I would change about it.
Exactly.
But it didn't leave any lasting impressions. Maybe I wasn't in the right mindset for it. I don't know. I started it on Friday.
I just loved how adult they were and how not annoying as fuck.
They were not annoying. They were not annoying.
They were annoying. So that made up for the lack of spice for me.
Maybe that's what it is, girlie.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
I was fine with that because they weren't pissing me off. Like, if they were just annoying me the whole time and there was no spice, that's the problem, maybe.
You know what? When I was doing the last episode that would have aired would have been the Love Declaration video. When I was reading through, which one was it? I want to say it was Variation. When I was trying to find the Love Declaration for that, I'm like, man, those two fucked a lot. Like, a lot. And he's like saying sweet things and she's saying stuff back, but I'm like, that's not what I'm putting in the game show. You know, like,
whilst having intercourse, they said this.
Like, I'm not doing that. But I was like, man, anytime any like emotional anything happened, they would stop talking and just start going at it. Do you remember that about that book?
No, do you?
Oh, not really.
But honestly, that sounds like them.
No, like they would talk and they'd be like some sort of like emotional revelation would happen and then they're just at each other. And I'm like, we didn't finish the conversation.
That was
guys.
their point.
They were just, yeah, actually, yeah, probably. But
they don't want to have that conversation.
So they're just,
let's just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, this book had what? One scene? Two?
I don't know if we saw really much of any. Well, I guess we did somewhat.
It was like
their first
the most
time.
General descriptions ever, though. Yeah.
But once again, I was shockingly not mad.
That is shocking.
I know.
And it was a slow burn.
I know.
Wow.
I really liked it.
Yeah. All the things you typically don't like.
I know.
Interesting.
And love letters.
Interesting.
And I loved them in this.
Yeah, well, it was done well in this one.
Yes.
It was done well.
So the myth is busted. I don't not like love letters.
Yes.
I just like them done well.
Yeah, this one was done well.
I don't like secret admirer letters, and then you have a full-on conniption when he responds. Because I cannot with that book.
Every episode we shit on that.
Not every. We've done it. It's been a while. We haven't shit on Secretly Yours appropriately in a while.
It's due.
It's bad. Don't fucking read it. Why? Why can't I say that?
Tessa follows us.
She doesn't watch these.
You're right.
Tessa does not watch these.
I'm always just
She
scared,
follows
though.
it, but she doesn't watch them.
I am
How
always
about we
scared,
won't make it
though.
a reel? Sorry, that book was not my favorite. Obviously, I have a favorite. Fangirl Down is the best. Is the best.
I think I need to reread those.
Every author has a hit and miss. You need to read the new one.
Dream Girl Drama.
I liked it. Morgan and Hannah did not, but I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I need to give that whole series another shot. I must have been in the wrong headspace for them or something. Because...
You're going to read the salad scene again?
The what? Oh, God. What's...
You know what I'm talking about? Toss in the salad. Stop. You're going to really
I'm gonna
do that again?
really? Wait, really? Really? Wait, really? I can't read that one scene again.
You know where it's at.
The
They get in
shower, though.
so
Yeah, I
skip
can't,
it.
as soon as they get in the shower, I'm like,
I'm out.
I'm out.
Until her parents get there.
Yeah. I'll have to skip that
But then
bit.
she will make a little mention of it, but you're fine.
Yeah.
Because she thinks about it while our parents were there. She was like, damn, I was just doing this, and now we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah, that was so much. Anyways, what are we doing next time?
Ooh, check-in, like a mid-year check-in with our reading goals. So we're about to get humbled swiftly. I can't wait.
I don't think you're getting humbled.
I think I am.
I
But
think I'm getting humbled.
we'll see.
Yeah. I think it's the motivation that I need to get my ass in gear. Get some shit going. Because...
Did you have goals?
I don't remember. You have to look.
Okay.
You'll have to look.
I have to watch the video
Yeah.
and write everyone's goals down.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no. You know which one is going to be the most heartbreaking for
If
me?
you did a nonfiction goal again, did you do that again?
I think I did.
Why do you do that every
Why
time?
do I do that?
Every time.
Every time. Can I rescind my...
No.
Damn it.
It's so funny to see how optimistic people are in January.
I am always so
Everyone
optimistic in
is.
January. I'm also the most optimistic on Mondays because it's the beginning of a new week.
Not me.
The first of the month because it's the beginning of a new month. Those are always the best days for me. But then I get in mid and I, depressive hole. Everything's fine.
Anyway, we're gonna be checking in,
Doing a mid-year
shaming
check-in.
ourselves,
Shaming ourselves for your
and
entertainment.
then we'll have one more video before we take a little month off.
Yeah.
An unknown book. You'll learn soon. Enough.
Well, thank you so much for being here, for watching, listening, and following us on Instagram at Our Book Boyfriends Podcast. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.